Hey, welcome. This is Roger from Roger's Hot Rod Garage, and this is video number 29 of the Porsche 914, the People's Porsche LS3 conversion. But look, watch number 28 if you want to get the lowdown on the rear brakes. I'm not going to rehash all this right now, but these suckers are ready to go. Got all new parts from Mittelmotor, so these are just basically the brakes. A lot of people commented putting 993 brakes on here, and I saw the video that Renegade Hybrids put online. The problem with that though is you've got no emergency brake then. I mean, there's no hookup for the emergency brake. I guess you could probably mount this someplace else, but I've went ahead and did this conversion. These are original 914 rears, of course, widened. And then what I had to do here is I made myself these pretty little bitty, exactly 5mm spacers to take this caliber and move it inboard just a little bit more so I can get centered on that vented disc right here. So that's in there, ready to go. The only thing I'm waiting for right now is these bolts right here. These are exactly 300mm, or if you do your math on that, that's 3 centimeters from base to the tip right here. I need 3.5 basically to compensate for the 5mm I'm going out. Not a big deal, but I want to make sure I have enough thread in here. And these right here will literally just go right there like that. That one disappeared on me. We'll go like that and space that out a little bit. And again, what I did here is I got these glowing red hot, and then I dipped them in oil, cooled them off a little bit, and I guess that's my hardening process. But anyway, it's a little bit of a spacer in here. Now, what I'm doing today is a little bit of the water system. So I had Roland come in here and weld this up for me. This is aluminum, so it's a pain in the butt to weld this stuff. But he closed up this little hole right here. I built a plug for it. This right here has been moved from the other side. This is your burping, if you will, from the water reservoir, which is right here, over to the, I guess the catch can is what you would call this one. This is not the catch can, this is the water reservoir over here. And then this right here, like I said in the last video, this is the LS burping from left side cylinder head to the right side cylinder head. And this right here just goes and flows in. This has got a 16-pound cap on it. And hold on just a second, see if I can get that sucker off of there. It's kind of like in a weird space, but I can. And you press down one more time and it comes off. So basically that's it. I'm color coordinated here. I went ahead and changed it out with a black one, and that sucker sits right there. That's basically how you fill up the motor. And the rest of the stuff is all down here. That's all my water jacketing stuff. Now look, I am down here right now. Never mind the birdhouses, and it smells like paint down here because I'm taking the old 59 Apache spray can stuff and putting all these little artsy fartsy projects. But never mind, I should definitely set this order coming at you. I'm gonna lean down here and show you what I'm working on now. Here is the return lines and lines coming back. This is actually running inside the car. I didn't want to run on the outside, but I do have this is the hydraulic line running from the hydraulic clutch, and there's that conversion right now from Willwood. And this is coming from the radiator in front. I'm gonna put this in here, but before I put this in here, I see the reservoir top up here. I got my hoses running down up here. Where are they at? For my remote fill up on the top. You probably can't see any of that crap. Well, here's one for the brakes, which is right here. This is a new upgraded, I think it's a 19mm. And let me cut this light off and show you what the top looks like. Yep, I can still get up at 59 almost. Check this out. So here are those remotes. Here are these lines running off on the end I was telling you about. These run down to the bottom, fill them with hydraulic fluid, and here's what it looks like from up here. And these are the hoses. This is the one you saw on the bottom, and it goes right down here. Now, what I will do today also for cooling purposes, I'm gonna put probably about 4 or 5 holes down the side right here. So I don't have my only exit is right back here. I'm gonna also have side drafts in here since I got this wheel off of this thing and jacked up. Those holes will be right here. Anyway, and I can hit it with a little bit of a clear. But look, it's all sequential here. So I got my little stash of 914 parts. Everything's bagged up, but seat belts and, oh, here it is right here. So this right here, I've got to put in, this is my remote fill, and I'll get that out the bag and put that little clamp on here, because then I can actually put the line on here, the actual water line. And the goal is to get everything hooked up so I can put water in it today. And I'll just start off with distilled water. I don't know how many liters that's going to be or gallons that's going to be, but get that in here. Fuel pressure and the entire high pressure system is already hooked up. And then, you know what? I forgot to tell Roland to weld this damn thing. My mistake. He was here the other day and I knew there was something he was supposed to weld. And it's that little bung right here, so that's my bad. I got to call him back again and do that. But not to get distracted, I'm also going to pull the headers off of the BMW V12 here. And Roland's going to re-weld these right here because after 12 years they got little cracks in them. Again, back over to the 914 project. That'll be a different story for another day. Anyway, enjoy the video.
And as promised, that sucker fighting the bind on here. There you go. So I'm just going to take about, I'll do safe and take a 1/2 inch off. I was up in here, so I won't take that much off. I'll just take a 1/4 inch off. If you pull the rubber away from the actual blade, it cuts like butter. These things don't go good if the rubber is stopping the blade from turning. All right, that'll make a car go faster.
All right, everybody. Hey, look, check this out. You ever wonder when you're working on your car, like, where'd that red paint come from? Like I got on the dashboard in there. Oh, so I got a little damage tonight. I think I poked my finger up here with a screwdriver. I'm not quite sure, but look. Wrapping up a successful weekend. This is a Sunday evening. Looks like we got about 8:30 according to that watch over there. That's Central European time. But look, quick little update. I got all these pushed back right here because this used to be my cable loom coming here, going to where I've got my fuse box delete right now. Anyway, all that sits on the inside right now. I'm going to actually put this over here and then close this down right here. I think it looks kind of pretty. And then check this out. I went ahead and mounted these right here. That's what the plan is. Again, I went to the Home Depot, Bauhaus over here, got those parts, and then when you pull this up, everything is nice and buttoned up. There I've got my little holes over here to let a little bit more air escape out of here, and hopefully this works. I think it should. And then once that 2K sets up in here, I've got it clear coated right now. I'll be calling that Crisco. Anyway, so look, you just push this down right here. See how that works? It's kind of hard to do this with one finger without getting blood on everything. Damn it, that hurts. See how that works? Anyway, long story short, if you're a 914 owner, you know what a pain in the butt it is to get that dashboard out of here. I took it out probably maybe 1 or 2 more times for fitting, but it's in here. The wiring looks like a mess right now, but it's not. That's actually pretty simple right here because it's going to be a little bit of GM wiring in here mixed in with a little Porsche wiring. Right here is my vintage AC holding pattern. Here's how I'm actually going to hold that thing up in here. But check this out. I have to take this thing out one more time. This is actually a brand new unit. I haven't used it before, but it's a little, I think they call it a mini gen unit. And you can see my little marks up here. I'm going to have to delete this up here and then somehow put a duct system and blow the air this way and blow it this way because it can't come directly out the front because this dashboard is directly in front of it right here. So that's just a change right there. On the can, no glove compartment here and no radio in here, but therefore I got those nice little classic instrument gauges, kind of like a GM retrofit. But what I'm gonna do right now is on my way home from work tomorrow, I'm gonna pick up a couple of these. These are just fittings, and I'm gonna push this right up in here like this and give you the general idea here. Because I can't get in here because the wall is about right here, so I can't expect that little rubber hose to go straight down. So I'm going to do it for it.
I've done this before, so I know it's gonna work. What I do is I put a couple of wet rags over here. I polish this completely down, put my little flux up in there, flux paste, solder, and then I'll hit that up really shortly, and it'll point it straight down. And then these right here, this is my AC, and this is my return for the low pressure side or high pressure side. I'm not quite sure anymore. I can actually access those from the bottom. And let me show you what I'm talking about over here. Here's what I'm talking about. Here's where my hoses come up from the back. And I'm just gonna go ahead and run those. See the little box right there, that box looking thing? I can access it from here. But for the water, I'm gonna just basically take that and solder that on right here. And then right here's the plan. And put this one up in here. It'll go up in here like this right here with the right fitting, of course. And that way, way down here in the well, you see where those two heater hoses are coming up, return and main? That's right there is where I could actually just make the adjustment with the screwdriver and do the fitting connection. So that's basically it. Look, I probably won't be able to get and finish this video up until next week, but if you're watching this on YouTube, it's not gonna make a difference anyway because it's gonna be a couple of milliseconds for you. So continue watching the video, but I'm gonna fast forward 1 week right now. So take care, bye-bye. All right, after scratching my head and figuring it out, so I passed on this idea right here. These are notorious for breaking these little retaining springs, which is not the original one here. So this is my little fix right here. I just TIG welded these little bitty nubs on here. And now when I push this button right here, like this emergency brake, you can see it retracts. See how it pushes back? And this was one of those folding handle things, but now I know why this one was actually braze closed. So I went ahead and just put a nice fat weld on here. I don't have to worry about that because I've got this little thing right here anyway. So the emergency brake's gonna be pulled up right here anyway, so I ain't worried about it. And like I said, most people braze these things shut right here, and I think I'm done with it. I kind of pat myself on the back for that one. Check that out. Works pretty well. All right, that's it. So I think some of you seen me do this before. Got a little haze in here, scratches and everything, so I put a little polishing paste on here. And this thing absolutely cleans these things up. Obviously no high pressure, just a little bit. Like look at this little faded area right here, see that? Very light pressure, glossy, super, super cool. All right, slightly different approach here. So I've got my little LED dropped in here. That's gonna be my park light. That's that white section right there. Obviously turn signal right here. That's a 15 watt. That's a traditional bulb up in there. And then what I do is instead of putting my connectors back here, which are prone to oxidation and being loose, I'm soldering all these back here, running them out here. And then I'm going to connect them with these pins on the inside of the car where it's nice and dry, or in the front of the car. That's what I'm going to do. So check this out. I got my little lab right here. So this is the park light right there. I mean, it's pretty bright. And then if I flip over here and grab this other one right here, that is pretty bright. That's my turn signal. All right, so I've basically run my easy wiring harness from driver's side over here. I've got this one completely hooked up. I got my light in here, I've tested it, and you can see it's nice and neat and tucked up in here with a little grommet down here. This right here is for the electric windshield wiper motor, and that's gonna just be pushed back down in here, but I still have to do my wiring for that right here. So check this out, nice and neat. I got this one kind of like taken against the wall right here, routes down here, comes down here, goes in this front right here with that little conduit I got, all the way over here, pops out over here, and I'm actually gonna run it in right here, and just gonna have to take these wires right now and just get the right length. So if I'm coming up in here, these about right here, and I just take these things and I snip them all in one so they're all the same length. This one right here is gonna be my ground, and I'm gonna terminate that ground right there where Porsche put my little ground hookup, and all the ground actually lands right here. And then what I do is I take the rest of the stuff and I put it in these little connectors right here. Now, if you think these aren't rated enough, these are 600 volts, or excuse me, 450 volts. I'm running 12 volts through. Now, I know that's amperage and that's not actually voltage, but these are not gonna get hot. I terminate those, I solder them, and then I push them down in here, and green to green, brown to brown, light green to light green, and so forth. So that's how I actually solve this whole issue. But, you know, don't tell anybody, but I actually like doing wiring, because wiring is actually instant satisfaction. When you get something put in, the light actually blinks and works, like this right here. That's cool. And anyway, that's just it. Some people actually hate wiring, but I've done probably about 4, 5, 6, 7 of those easy wiring harnesses out of Florida. That's actually the name of the company, Easy Wiring. And the kits are only like, shit, what are they? This one was like 160 bucks. And there they are right down here. Yeah, it looks like a mess down here, but everything's kind of organized. And I'm getting ready to put the dash in permanently, because I got my my heater lines figured out over there for the heater inside the car. Anyway, that's it right now. So we've got about, I think it's the 3rd or the 4th of February.